go now. Okay. Awesome. So what's up, you guys? Welcome to another To Be Amazing Sunday night family time call. If there's anybody new on the call, we do these calls every Sunday, every single Sunday throughout the year. So this is, which one? How many? This is the, I don't want to try to figure that out. This is what, the third Sunday? No.
Or second.
Second. So let's say it's the second Sunday. Yeah, so the second Sunday. So super fired up. So we're just going to introduce ourselves, and then we're going to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker tonight. Everybody's seen the flyer. This call is about to be fire. So real quick, my name is Orlando. This is Kylie, a.k.a. Kylando. Y'all see it. We're from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we've been doing Herbalife now come 4 years, actually January 20th, which is like right around the corner. We're currently global expansion team, tracking for MIL team. We declaring it by the end of this year, if anything. So we're super fired up about that. But a little bit about myself real quick is that I actually started Herbalife just looking for a result. Like many people on the call now, I was actually 145 pounds soaking wet. I was in college. I lifted all the time, but I kind of ate whatever I wanted. I was looking for gains. I was going through McDonald's drive-thrus, going off the dollar menu, going to Taco Bell, anything that, I felt that would actually like gain weight. And in my mind, I was like, okay, if I gain the weight, I could turn it into muscle. So I was trying to do this like science project on myself. It didn't work. So I started Herbalife. And I found Steven, my cousin, on Instagram when I was in the gym trying to catch some weekend gains. And I saw him on Instagram. I saw his before and after, and like that's like literally all that I needed to see. So another key tip that I can actually give myself is that if you guys are looking for somebody to start, a business with you, constantly post your before and after pictures. Note to self, actually. But yeah, so what happened was, I was able to gain, within 6 months, I gained 30 pounds of lean muscle. I dropped my body fat from 30% down to 15. And I was like, whoa, okay. Abs, I had real abs instead of rib abs. And I was like, okay, so these products is working. My family and friends were starting to ask questions, thinking I was taking steroids and yada, yada, yada. And then fast forward, by default, we, decided to try to do the business because we went to our very first Herbalife event, which happened to be in Chicago, and it was extravaganza. And our mind
extravaganza!
But yes, I'm gonna let Kylie share her results, and then she'll share a little bit more like about our business side of our journey so far.
Awesome. So like he said, my name's Kylie. And when we started 4 years ago, I was almost graduated college. Had no idea how much extra weight I had put on and how low my self-esteem was and how low my energy was. So Orlando came home one day from the gym and said, we're starting Herbalife. I was like, okay. So I ended up losing 15 pounds in my first 2 months. And that was awesome, but I was feeling amazing. But I was still so opposed and like, I would say sassy to doing the business. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not selling shakes. I'm not doing this. Like, I'll just keep getting the results. Some people were asking us. So anyways, when we went to Chicago and we saw what was possible in this company, it really opened both of our eyes, but specifically more so myself as well. Like I had a degree in social work. I worked in child protection for 3.5 years. I've now been free of that job for about 1.5 years. So thankful for Herbalife. Once we saw what was possible in this company, I knew I didn't have to work in a stressful, harmful to your body type job, that I didn't have to do that for 20 years. I was like, okay, we can still change lives, make an impact in our community. And now we both do this business full time. We have a nutrition and fitness center here in Green Bay. And it's been so awesome to be able to impact the community, but be able to help our family and friends from all over. And it's just been an awesome journey for us to be able to do together as well.
Yes. Awesome. So what we're going to do now that you guys know a little bit more about us, for those of you that did not know, we're going to open up the call right now for shares that happen throughout the week. We'll take a few or weekend, but I really want to share one on my end real quick. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna share something because we were talking about it this afternoon, actually, when we woke up and things. So Sundays all of last year. The whole last year was like our time, like to sleep in. We don't ever really sleep in and stuff like that. So like Sundays, we're sleeping in. We ain't doing no business. We're just kind of hang out, do whatever we want, and then we'll recoup and collect ourselves for Monday. But everybody says, if you want different, do different. So what we've decided, and it's just starting to happen now, is actually this was the first Sunday that we did not take a nap. So like typically it's like we wake up, have our shake tea tabs, sit on the couch, and then we go right back to sleep like an hour later, like let's take another nap. But like, we talked about it and we're like, wow, like we didn't take a nap today. We went to the gym. Like we don't usually go to the gym on Sundays even. And like, it was just, it's different and it feels good. So that's just my personal share. So unless you got something? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and open up the line to see. I know there's been some JKOs this past weekend too. So feel free to speak.
I'll go.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Kayla. Happy Sunday. I am currently based in Inglewood or the Los Angeles area. I had a phenomenal week. It was the first week of my new challenge for January, and it's just crazy results already. But I went to 2 events that I wanted to talk on. I won't take up too much time, but one was called Night School. The theme was bridging your day job and your daydream. And so I really wanted to share a couple of takeaways from that because it was several entrepreneurs. Like the room was actually 5 people that amount to having about $10 million plus individually. So I think there's massive value from those people coming in and sharing what they had. And I wanted to share a little bit of what I took away. So one of them is just, can you imagine living your life with your gift? We all have something that we're given, and it's just like really imagine what that life is like when you're using your gift to drive your passion and your purpose in your life. It's never too late to actually pursue your passion. Like, so if you are older or younger, doesn't matter. There's never a time frame on when your passion can go. And then the final thing from that event is don't be the reason why you don't get success. So don't be the reason why you don't reach your goals and why your dreams don't come true. Like if you're doing everything you can do, then you should reach your goals. And then this weekend, we also had the SoCal region JKO with presidency member JJ Mikowski. I just typed out these. I'm just going to say a couple because I don't want to take up too much time. But he just provided a lot of massive value. He's a young person, and I think that's really awesome. I'm currently 24, so to see anyone that's young at any level is awesome to see on stage, and it just brings vision for what I want to deliver when I'm on stage. So one of the things really that stood out is to be the backstop for your org, taking responsibility wholeheartedly, even if you have an upline that's at a higher pin level. What is the difference going to make when you're that person that says, that's okay, I got it, I'll take care of it, this is my responsibility, I'll do it. Carla Sandoval was also there. She's another president's team member, and she just kept saying every day, and she was referring to your 90-day plan and how it has to be very specific, very intentional, and you just do it every day. It sounds repetitive and it sounds boring, but that's what you're going to get results from. And she said you'll see your results the last week of your 90-day plan. And the final thing that I really liked is she said ensure that there's 6 levels deep of happiness. So making sure that in your organization, 6 levels down, that people are making money essentially, and making sure that your first 3 lines, yes, that's where you're collecting royalties from, but 6 levels down is how you make sure that those first 3 levels are happy. So that was it. Thank you for letting me share.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Kayla. Appreciate it. Anyone else?
Yeah. What's up? Hey, guys. Hi, everybody. Steven here. I just had to get to some quietness so I can have my share. How's everybody doing? What up, Morgan girl? Hey, excited to hear from you. But I had JKO as well. I didn't get an opportunity to take a whole lot of notes because I was doing like 1,000,003 things with AV, slides, and music and everything else on the production side. But I had some amazing things happen, actually. I actually had one of my guests. I think she's on the call. I think I just seen her get on. She signed up at the event and bought her ticket and stayed for the rest of the day. So she's a brand new distributor. So y'all give it up for a brand new distributor. And I think Mary's on here as well. She signed up the day before JKO, came to JKO, and she's a brand new distributor as well. So a couple of brand new distributors on here. Their first family time, so I want y'all all to treat them good. All right. 3 new distributors in the last 48 hours. I just feel like it's, 2014 again. If y'all don't know what that means, it just means Herbalife, the big wave is back. So you can either ride it or you can just watch everybody ride it. But I would much rather have y'all ride it with me because it looks funner when more people ride the wave. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just really excited for life in general. I'm excited to have this year start off so powerful. I'm excited for all y'all beautiful faces on this call, especially y'all who got y'all videos on. If you don't got your video on because it's late at night and you ain't masked yet or you ain't wiped the crusties out, it's absolutely okay. I appreciate that. But if you can't have your video on, we'd like to see your face. And that's it.
Oh, thank you for that, Steve. Appreciate you, brother. Anyone else? We'll take 2 more.
Yes.
Freak.
Oh. Oh.
Big mad or little? All right. My name is Annie. I'm out in Atlanta, current World Team member. Have not had a JKO yet, but we are going this weekend to DC to hear Super Mario. And I'm really excited about that, not really for myself, but because I have some team members going and it's their first event. So I'm excited for them. And then my other thing is I have 2 new people on the call right now. Let me make sure. Yes. Okay. Manisha, new distributor as of a couple of days ago, first family time call. And Ashley, new distributor as of a couple of days ago, first family time call. So I just wanted to welcome them. I'm excited for them. And I'm excited for this weekend, JKO. That's it. Yes. And welcome to the other 2 new as well.
Awesome.
Thank you
for that. Appreciate it. Adrian, I know you want to unmute yourself, brother.
Well, hello, new distributors, by the way. Second thing, now I gotta have some new distributors. Y'all done made me feel like I'm not doing nothing. So I'm gonna have to tighten up and get somebody on here either now or next week for sure. But I'm super excited and blessed to have me and Liz finish that thing right there. So she got a place to sleep as soon as she gets here, y'all. And when I tell y'all I was at work today, and I saw 6 text messages on my phone from Liz. I thought it was because her water broke. But, bruh, it was because of some rebuild strength Herbalife 24 questions. I was so doggone mad. I was like, why she ain't just go to myherbalife.com? I'm in this restaurant drowning, and she's sending me questions. But it showed me how excited I was to see Little Princess when she gets here. But, yeah, I'm stoked. But new distributors on the way. Don't you worry.
That is hilarious.
Awesome.
Awesome. Did you want to say something before we?
I don't think so. Are we going to start?
Yes. Okay. So yeah, just real quick recap before I have Kylie edify our guest speaker. So just Kayla, that night school sound really dope. For those of you who got a pen and paper, you might want to take some notes off of that one. I really got from you, Kayla, that never too late to pursue your passion, because sometimes we always, pick people out like, oh, they wouldn't want to do that because they're too old, or, they're not as young as us to start Herbalife. So thank you for that nugget. I wrote that down. Cuzzo, Steven, those are goals. You already know we like to duplicate, success from you. So we will be having new potential members come to the STSs and sign up, on the spot like that, because, that's fast growth and that's what we need to get to Mill Team. So that's going to happen. Annie, 2 new members on the call. Shout out to our newest members on the call as well. We got Kylie's sister, Trier and Ozier, and then also Hannah here from Green Bay, and YD, they're on the line too, somewhere within the mix of everybody. And then also Adrian, that crib back there looking nice, man. I can't wait to see the little one on the way, man. That's freaking awesome. All right, so I'm going to hand it over to Kylie. She's going to introduce our guest speaker.
Awesome. So one thing quick. So for those of you, if this is your first call, we typically have guest speakers every single Sunday. So it makes it amazing as far as it's like a mini event. when everyone had an event yesterday, but it's like a mini event every single Sunday.
Bonus.
So these calls are very important to plug into because you never know what's going to relate to. But I know for a fact Miss Morgan is going to relate to everybody on this call. So we've known her since we plug into the event in Chicago, which is 3.5 hours from Green Bay. And we met Morgan when we started plugging into this. So like, I feel like we have like a very similar journey because when we hit Global Expansion Team last year, she hit it shortly after us. And it was awesome because she's there with us, our growth, and we've been there with her growth, seeing her team, being able to see her kill the stage every event in Chicago. She's such a powerful speaker. So very excited for Miss Morgan Martin, Global Expansion Team, to take over the call.
Yes. Grab your pen and paper.
Hey, family, what's going on? I love the fact that, like, I'm just now seeing most of you guys for the very first time, the fact that I can call you family. First of all, I love that this call is called Family Time because for me, that is really a huge part of what honestly really got me stuck with Herbalife. So again, my name is Morgan Martin, Global Expansion Team member here in Chicago, Illinois. And it's so crazy. We just finished, we just did a launch of our next kind of, we don't do challenges, we do transformation programs for all of our clients. And we just finished our event for the year. And one of the things that I really got present to and that I like to remind myself of, and I would say for all of you guys to do this at some point, is to really think about who you were, where you were, and what you felt like before you really truly said yes to Herbalife. And so for me at the time, I was living out in Los Angeles, California. I'm originally actually from Cincinnati, Ohio, so I'm Midwest at heart. And I moved out to LA, the same reason why everybody moved out to LA, because that's apparently the city that you're supposed to live and find your dreams. I was a dancer, actor, I did journalism, I did a million different things. And I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with my life, but I knew I wanted to do something more than where I was presently. So I moved out to LA. Little did I also know that LA is expensive as all get out. So God bless all my people out in Los Angeles. But coming from the Midwest and moving to Los Angeles, it was like a lot. And I found myself really trying to pursue what I thought my dream was, or trying to figure out what that was. And I didn't even really know. What I did know is that I wanted to impact people. I wanted to do something that I loved. I wanted to feel happy, and I wanted to feel joy inside of whatever it was that I was doing, and whatever avenue that was going to be, I was ready and willing to be able to accept it. However, in pursuit of that, you also have real people bills. So I found myself literally, I don't know if any of you guys can ever relate to having like literally probably every job you could possibly think of all at one time. That was me. It was like I was this, I was that, barely sleeping. So I was spending all this time trying to just make sure that I was taking care of that. Slowly but surely, what I actually went out there to pursue and do became less and less a part of my job, a part of my day. And at the time, this is back in the Craigslist ads when days were different in Herbalife, there was an ad and it said, looking for people that are passionate about helping others, transforming lives, and wanting to earn some additional income doing that. And I was like, I would love to do that because it was almost in alignment with the things that I had said I wanted to go out and actually pursue in LA. And I remember going to this nutrition club, and I will never forget the day because it was a Tuesday afternoon. It was 2:00, where usually I was at one of my 5 million jobs, miserable. And I remember walking into this nutrition club, and there was music playing. There was like people doing weights and measurements, and like everybody was happy. And I'm like, this is fake. There's no way that it's Tuesday at 2:00 and people are this happy. Like it's not real, right? And I remember going in and I'm sitting down, and I sat down, I met with my mentor, the amazing President's Team member, Laura Holloway. And she sat down with me. I remember having this shake, and I'm like, this is freaking amazing. And then I was like, this is what you all do? Like, you help people on a Tuesday at 2:00 and you're happy. Like that's all I remember. Everything else they said to me, she broke down Formula One. She said a whole bunch of stuff. All I knew is what I felt that day. I had never felt inside of anything else ever. And it was that moment that I remember, like, man, I really want to be able to do this. And I want to be able to not only transform people, but like I can actually like build a business and make money doing this too. Like the concept was so crazy to me. And I remember walking out of there having that feeling. However, even as great as I felt and as great as an opportunity that I saw could be real for me, Morgan wasn't ready to change. So when I left there, the steps that she told me to take were to get on my nutrition program, and so that I could get a result and feel what it was going to be like, be able to reach out and help and connect with my friends and family. Simple steps, right? The problem was Morgan wasn't ready or willing to get out of her own way, of my own stuff, of my own BS, of my own mindset, to do those simple things to launch what I now has been one of the most amazing yeses I ever could have said in my life. So what did I do? I chopped off communication. Laura would reach out to me. I wouldn't say anything. I share that because I'm sure you all at some point in time have had a client or a coach that either falls off or says no or whatever the case may be. And all I can say is just because they say no in this moment, it may be a no, not right now, but it doesn't mean it's a no forever. Because 4.5 years later, literally 4.5 years later, when I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see that same Laura Holloway still during the week happy, still doing exactly what she said that she was up to, still showing all the results of the people that she had transformed, seeing her crossing stages, seeing her do all of the things that I knew could possibly be possible for me, but that I wasn't ready to step into. I knew where to go back to, because 4.5 years later, I was still miserable on a Tuesday at 2:00 in the afternoon. So when I went back to Laura, I said, look, this is what's going on. This is where my own personal health is. And more than anything at that time, I had an extreme why, because my brother at the time was battling obesity up and down. And I wanted to be able to help my family, but I knew the only way that I was going to be able to do that is if I was willing to change myself. So what did I do? I went back to the basic steps that she had always told me before. Number one, I got on my nutrition program and I took it like it was my job. I remember her telling me, if you know the results that you get in the next 30 days means that every person, every family member that you love and care about will say yes to you, how hard will you go on your results? And I was like, done deal. Got on my nutrition program. I did exactly what she told me to do. I'm only 5 feet tall, but I lost 9 pounds, 9% body fat. It doesn't sound like a lot to most people, but when you're bite-sized, 9 pounds is like 30, so I was elated. I started sharing my results. I remember getting on the phone with my family and I said, man, this is actually something that, like, not only do I think could actually help the health of our family, but if I can show through you all that we really can make a change, I just have a feeling this is going to be something that's going to help me do something bigger than myself. I still didn't quite understand what that meant, but I just knew that there was something about these people, something about this company, something about the products. And then when they showed me the marketing plan, I was like, you can actually really make money doing this. Mind you, I'm struggling, working 5 million jobs. I'm unhealthy, I'm unhappy, and all I needed was an opportunity that I can pour all of myself into to really take it to the next level. So I got my family on a program. I literally put up a post and I said, the Martins are about to get fit and fabulous, watch out. Mind you, at the same time, the number one person in my life that I was really wanting to do this with me was my brother. And unfortunately, the very next day, my brother unexpectedly passed away from a pulmonary embolism. And when I tell you, I share that now, not for anybody to feel sorry for me or not for any type of pity, but I share that because we have an opportunity And I always think about what if 4.5 years ago, I would have taken those very simple steps then to be able to catapult people forward now. And now we have an amazing opportunity to literally change lives on so many levels. And he may not be here, but he is my why of why when every person comes to me and needs help, when anybody needs a business opportunity because they feel stuck in their finances, I have an opportunity and a responsibility to help them. And my family has taken that on. My mom and my dad both said, you know what? We said that we were going to start this as a family and we're going to do it. I went on, my mom is down over 25 pounds. My mom's 4'10", so 25 pounds on her is 50. She started getting amazing, and my dad said, well, she ain't going to be the only person looking fine. So he got on. My dad's down over 20 pounds. They're happy. They're bouncing around the house, and now moving because of the Herbalife opportunity and really seeing what was possible and really sitting down and understanding that by helping them, it allowed me to help more people, to then develop and empower more people. Was able to develop at that time. I got all the way up to world team while I was still in Los Angeles. And I said, you know what? I want to be able to come back to the city where my family is. And I actually want to be able to do this in the city and with the people that actually mean the most to me. So I moved to Chicago. Thanks to Herbalife, because I knew that I had an opportunity to be able to take everything that I was doing there and be able to do it here. And I knew I could do it even better because this is where my why was. So I moved to Chicago, and from there it was just like guns blazing. Started literally having ridiculous, crazy work ethic because my why is what literally drove me. Waking up early in the morning, not because I have to, but because we get to. Do you know how many people, I remember being in corporate America, having to have to wake up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning to go to a job that I hated. So people are like, Morgan, how are you always up so early? Because I get to, like, we get to wake up early and smash the day. So get up. The first thing I do, I wake up in the morning. I have my why. I wish I could even take you to the room. It's a picture of my brother is right there. It's the first thing that I see. I get up, I do my affirmations, I have my shake, tea, and taps, and I go to work, messaging people because this is what we absolutely get to do. Having that disciplined work ethic is extremely important as we continue to go through. And so now being here in Chicago, it's been almost 2 years now. Went from just becoming a world team member right before I moved here to now being a fully qualified global expansion team member, moving our way through 2.5 get a millionaire team in 2018. I'm already declaring it. I'm with you, Kai Lando. We started this thing together. And I share this in hopes that wherever you are in the marketing plan, wherever you are in how long you've been, a distributor or saying yes to this, what I can say is you are going to get out of it whatever it is that you put in. If you half step, that's what you're going to get. If you go all in, you're going to get all in back. It's not about the win. It's about you just being committed to doing whatever it is you say that you're going to do 100%. And anything is possible. So for me, you couldn't have told me that in a million years that now we would be here in Chicago. We have a fitness center here that I actually run with my family, which is the most amazing feeling ever. Literally, my grandmother runs the registration. People don't even come for me. They come to see her. We're now opening our first fully daily consumption nutrition club that hopefully will be open in the next month or two. Pray for us. The city of Chicago is a lot to get through, construction and all that good stuff. But we're committed. And we're changing lives. And because of that, we have a host of coaches. We're on the south side of Chicago, and we're committed and we're on a mission. And for me, it's been the most amazing feeling being able to not only do something that I thought I had to go to Los Angeles in order to create, but I'm literally living and designing the life that I always thought I could have. Building financial and time freedom for myself. Transforming lives every single day. I'm not that girl that was miserable on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I now am lit. I actually probably need to start doing that every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I'm just going to make a I'm happy as hell post every single day, because I know what it feels like not to be. And more than anything, for me, not only do we have the opportunity to help somebody inside of their health goals, I have an opportunity to help people get out of whatever financial situation that they feel stuck in. And there's been no greater feeling than being able to wake up with that purpose in mind. So I hope in some way that's inspired you guys. Kylie and Orlando, I don't even know if that's in alignment with what you all are looking for. So I don't know if you guys have questions or anything, but that's my story.
Awesome. Yes, that's perfect, Morgan. Thank you for that. So what we'll do now is, if you don't mind, Morgan, we're gonna kind of do more so like a question and answer, and I'll kind of kick it off to kind of get your brain spinning. I'm sure most of us are kind of want to know, like, as far as from like you going from world team to active world team, because everyone can get to world team by yourself. But once you get to world team, it's time to, teach, your team, how to do, what you're doing and kind of mastering that. Can you kind of give us an outline of, what that looked like for you and that growth?
Yeah. So honestly, world team, when I tell you, for me, world team was a solo grind. It was a super solo grind. At that time, I was that person that I didn't grasp growing a team in the beginning. I was just retailing a lot. I think I had maybe 2 distributors at the time, and I think 2 of them they were my friends. So I think they're low-key just kind of on board by obligation. So I knew I needed to make a shift. And the reason the shift for me was the things that I was doing was not duplicatable. I am a determined, crazy person. So you tell me what to do, I'm going to figure out a way to do it, right? But crazy you can't duplicate crazy, right? I needed to duplicate leaders, and I needed to duplicate making it simple. So the few things that I really went back to was plugging into events was everything. So I made it my goal. In my first event in Chicago, I went by myself. I literally sat in a row with 3 empty seats, and I took a picture and I said, next event, I'm going to be filling these 3 seats. It was a vision that I created for myself. The next event, it was like my 30-day goal was to build people to get to that event, because the events do the work yourself. I wasn't confident enough in myself to do and share some of the things that you hear people share on stage. So I let them do the work for me by just getting people to show up. The second thing was really being a lot more intentional inside of our client group and structure. A lot of people, I actually had distributors inside of my client group that they just needed me to actually empower them to show and to pull greatness out of them, to see that they actually could do this. So the biggest shift for me was literally everything that I did. The first thing I would say is can this be duplicated? If it couldn't be duplicated, I stopped it and I went back to the basics.
Awesome. Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions that they would like to ask Morgan?
I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
When it comes to working with clients and seeing potential as distributors, or even meeting somebody or talking with someone maybe that you even know, what type of characteristics, what is it that you're looking for when it comes to building your team?
Yeah, absolutely. Leaders show themselves. So I'm sure you guys probably have like client groups and threads and things like that. So some of the things that would usually stick out to me are the people that are constantly contributing to the page, and not only just sharing about themselves, but they would be the people that are always commenting and liking on other people's stuff. Because why? That shows that they're engaged. They show that they're a team player. People that were being consistent, of course, obviously getting results, but inside of our workout structure. So they were the people that were always showing up to either our client calls, or that were always showing up to the workouts. The ones that were just showing love and positivity even inside of the group. And then, of course, kind of the bridge to STSs for us is we have a call similar to this. So kind of, we don't call it an opportunity meeting. We call it vision, because to me, it's all about the vision. I want people to understand the vision and the mission that we're on. And being an Herbalife distributor is, of course, it's a part of that. So it's the people that are willing to get on that call to show that they are, you know, wanting to take this and be something more than just losing a few pounds.
Awesome. That was Allie, right? Who asked that question? Yeah.
Yeah, it was me. I'm in the car. Sorry.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Awesome. Does anybody else have a question? Otherwise, I got another one. Adrian? I see you looking, man. Oh, you thinking. Okay. So I'll ask another one, Morgan. So our next question was, so you being at Global Expansion Team now, and, you know, like most people, hopefully everybody knows about this 2,000 volume points to get to supervisor and 1,000, man. So I know that's just probably blew a lot of people's minds. So we're able to move a little faster now, which is awesome. So you being that Global Expansion Team, like what's your focus right now? Are you looking, I know a lot of people have different strategies, but like just how powerful you are as a whole. Like I just want to go inside your brain and see what your focus is to leveling up right now for this 2018 year.
Yeah, I mean, number one, I always go back to the basics. And for me, and it sounds like elementary Herbalife, but getting better results. I am literally focused over the next 90 days. I'm probably about to look like a freaking action. I mean, I don't know. I'm about to be like Stephen Crawford in a minute in a dress or something. I don't know. But I know, because for me, in order for next level 10 results, that means my mental has to be clear, my discipline has to be clear, and I'm going to feel better. So that's my personal number one. My second is always leading by example. So Stephen in the dress. And leading by example, even in terms of my personal volume and what I'm going to do. We just had JKO with the amazing Tamika Adams. Like, she blew it out the water. And her and Jonathan Weber were absolutely amazing. And, you know, she really fired me up. So at the end of the day, just imagine that if most of your distributors only do 20% of what you're going to do, what are you going to have to do in order for your team to show up and have the organization that you want? So if it's like, if they're only going to do 20%, then I better really get really clear on what my own personal volume goals is going to be, because you can't make the team do anything, but you can lead by example. So for me, it's really upping my personal volume game and leading from the front, continuing to frontline wide, but also, of course, because, you know, tab team and continuing to grow is also really about developing the team. So for me, it's also digging a lot deeper, working deep inside of my organization to take the current World Team members and supervisors that we have to make sure they're reaching their goals and helping them work deeper inside of it.
Awesome. Thank you for that. All right, you guys, don't make me take over this question and answer, because I got another one. I'm going to give you 3 seconds.
I have another one.
All right, perfect.
How many distributors do you have on your team? Like, what's your breakdown of your team?
Yeah, so right now we have, we actually just brought on in the last 2 weeks. So I just frontlined 6 new distributors, and they're growing as well. So I have to actually look at our exact numbers. But we've actually honestly had a little bit of an organizational shift over the last 4 to 6 months, per usual. And it's part of, you know, the way that we go. There's always some ups and downs, but I don't even look at it as a down. I look at it as a, you know, when you have a spring cleaning, you got to get a bunch of stuff that's just not moving. It's just kind of sitting in the house. And not that anybody's dispensable, because they can always come back. But sometimes you need that in order to just like move and go. So right now, active supervisors, I have about 15 supervisors that are moving forward. Some of them world team members as well. One of my coaches very close to hitting her first cut for active world team as well. So we've got a small but mighty group, but my goal is really to go wider and wider and wider.
Awesome. Thank you.
Question.
Yeah, good question. Anybody
Thank
else?
you.
Yeah, absolutely.
3, 2, 1. All right, Morgan, I got another one. So, and this is, I'm speaking for people on the call right now, because I know we had talked, Steven he said take care of his new people. So this is for his new people, and also for our 2 new distributors on the call, and also Annie's. If you had to give some advice to the new distributors on the call, if they're wanting to grow their business right from the gate, give us a couple tips that you can give them as being new distributors and on the line tonight.
Yeah. Number 1, trust your mentor. When you're in the beginning, they got to where they got to for a reason. So really working with them to create your goals is extremely important. But I always say at the end of the day, going back to the basics. Number 1, crazy stupid results. Stupid results. Literally look at your results. It's like what you do over the next few weeks means that everybody is going to have no choice but to say yes to you. Number 2, really working your COI, your circle of influence, in every way possible. I have my new distributors make a 50 to 100 person list of everybody they can possibly think of. Family members, coworkers, sororities, thinking groups. So sometimes, especially when we get started, we think of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, but we've all, over the course of our lives, been a part of a lot of organizations. 1, you went to school. So you have a lineup of school people from elementary school to middle school to high school to college. So one of the things that really that we've been doing a lot with our new distributors is to help them think in groups. So not even just one-on-one, but where can you actually get in your community to do, a shake party or start a challenge at your job, especially if you're someone who, has a 9 to 5. That often comes up a lot. It's like, well, sure, Morgan, you can do all of that because this is what you do full time now. However, that's not how I started. I started working this with a 9 to 5, just like many people do. So the number 1 thing that you can do is you get to decide how many hours you are going to allocate to your Herbalife business a day and set it. So for me at the time, again, working 9 to 5, I knew I was going to have to wake up a little bit earlier than I used to. I used my time before work. I used my lunchtime, and I used my time after to schedule a wellness profile. So it can be done, but you have to be a little bit more disciplined in your time of how you structure. So time blocking is everything, and use your job. You have a lot of employees that honestly, to be honest, when I first started, I didn't have that confidence. So it was like nobody knew I did Herbalife. I didn't even want to put my teacup on my table yet. I don't know why. Don't be like me, be better than me. But just the smallest thing can go a long way. I will never forget the first time I came with my Herbalife mug and I sat on my desk, and it was like everybody started asking, who would have thought if you actually put an Herbalife branded anything somewhere at your job, people will ask you, what's Herbalife? So my point is really leverage your time. Don't make excuses for yourself. Get clear on what you want. If it's, I'm going to commit 2 hours a day to Herbalife, great, do it, figure it out. But you really get to set that up for yourself.
Awesome. Thank you. That was more than I asked for, Morgan. I appreciate that. I think everybody could take some notes off of that one, even the vets here on the call. So thank you for that. Anybody else?
Yes, it's your boy, the handsome dreadhead.
There he is.
Okay, so you're full time, correct?
Yes.
When was that risk taken, or when and what did it take for you to actually say, I want to do this on full time? When did that happen?
For me, And it's been pretty recent. So, I mean, full time, but I also have some I do a lot of, I'm a instructor, and I work with the Chicago public school system here as well in some of their after school programs. So I do still have some other side things coming in, but primarily this is 100%. For me, what it was when it got to a point where, one, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. I also gave myself a deadline of income-wise, what I personally needed to make in order to be comfortable, and I had to be able to do it for 6 months. So it couldn't just be like, okay, yep, I'm just going to do this and drop everything. For me, I needed to make sure that I knew that I had trust in myself, that I could be able to bring in a certain amount every month in order to cover the things that I needed. So for me, not only did that give me confidence when I was able to do it, but it also honestly gave me more of a drive and a why, because it was like, well, you're not going to be able to do more with this until you're able to do this. So for me personally, it was that extra like push, you know what I mean, in order to really make sure that the goals financially that I set up for myself were met as well.
For sure. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good question, Adrian. Thank you for that one. Anybody else? We still got some time here. Don't leave the call.
I have a question.
Can you hear me?
Who is this?
Mary?
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Hi. What is the best advice you would give if I'm starting off to do this as a part-time right now? I do work like a full-time job. Mm-hmm. So what's the best advice you would give me if the plan is for me to do the business full-time? Like what's the easiest way to start off on all of this?
One, you have to get really clear on what you personally need in order to, what does full-time need to look like, or what do you need to, at the end of the day, we can avoid money all we want to, but we have real bills and we have real life and we have real responsibilities, right? So you want to make sure that you're clear on what it's going to take for you in order to be able to match and take care of yourself. Like that's why Get Team for me was important, because I knew it about that level for me was the level income wise where being able to really make that shift was able to happen. So if pins are what drive you, because honestly, the Get Team pin meant nothing to me. I attached it to, this is the pin that I know that if I can get to and start to be consistent in, that I can start to let some of those other things go. So I think you need to get really clear on what that personally is for you. And then while you are there, while you're still at your job full-time in hours, having a full-time Herbalife mindset, if that's still what you're choosing to do. And that's what it was for me. So it meant earlier mornings. It meant some late nights. It meant, while other coworkers were out and the lunch break, it meant that I was, somewhere probably sitting in my car doing wellness profiles. Like you have to get clear on the work it's going to take in order to get there. And you obviously have really great mentors and leaders on this call that I'm sure will be able to help you devise a plan to be able to do that. And then for me, it's I'm a deadline person. So set a deadline. If like you have a goal of like when you want that to be done by, set it and make that your drive and your why to continue to put forth the effort that you need in order to get there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome question, Mary. Thank you for that. Anybody else? I know someone else chimed in like they were in like a funnel or something. But you can unmute.
I wasn't in no funnel, guys. I'm just driving these LA streets. I ain't have good service. I've been trying to ask a question for like 10 minutes. You've been curving your voice. It's all good. So it is Steven. I apologize if you may cover this in your story. I was doing clean up. But Morgan, for those who are on the call and they're looking to be a producer, somebody who does high volume, someone who gets a lot of clients, two-part question, and the first part would be, what are your no matter what? Because I know as a tag team member, we have no matter what. I hope I ain't breaking up. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Well, let me just say that. What are your no matter what things that you're going to do on a daily or weekly basis, or even just things that you're going to do in your business that are no matter what?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, one of the books that really shifted my entire business was Miracle Morning for the Network Marketer, because my mornings, to be quite honest, before I started this, were terrible, to say the least. They were just kind of like you wake up and then you figure out what the day was. So for me, my no matter what is definitely personal development. First thing in the morning, we take care of a lot of people, but I got to make sure I'm taking care of myself. 125% on my nutrition program, because I cannot have anybody do something that I'm not willing to do for myself. And the third thing is the night before, even when I'm like dead, tired, exhausted, I always set up my day for what the next day is going to be, so that when I wake up in the morning, it's not Morgan trying to figure out what your schedule is going to be. It's like I wake up ready to take action because I already did it the night before. So for me, it's I have a certain amount of people that I say use social media to build my business that I message and interact with a day. I do 3 to 5 posts no matter what every single day, not herba vomiting, but real actual like what I care about posts that I know are going to attract people. We have an event structure, so no matter what, I'm always showing up to our workouts. I'm the first one there. I'm the last to leave. I contribute in every single way that I can, because I think contribution is key. I have my days that I follow up with my clients. So for me, it's Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays. So every Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays, it's clear no matter what that those are my follow-up days. My clients know it. I know it, and it makes sure, because the fortune is in the follow-up, not just getting a bunch of clients, actually keeping them. And in those follow-up days, those are also my follow-up / referral days, because I know if I do epic follow-up, I'm also going to get referrals. So for me, really having that structure inside of my day is extremely important. At the end of every day, I also make sure that I track my gauges. This was something you hear people say it all the time, like, make sure you're tracking, keep track of your gauges. Do you know your volume? How many invites did you do? And I would hear it. And some days I would do it, and then some days I didn't. When I really started making my run from active world team to get team, I knew I needed to start operating my business like a business and show up every day like a boss. I don't know what business or what job you have, but I guarantee you whoever the CEO is knows their numbers of their business like the back of their hand. So for me, making sure that I'm keeping track of how many invites did I do, how many trials went out, how many new clients, how many new distributors, making sure that I'm having action and that action is actually moving volume. The reason that's important is because sometimes we can be doing a lot of things, doing a lot of Herbalife-y type things because you posted, you shared, you had your shake, you maybe talked to a person, but your volume didn't move, no trials went out, no clients got started. So to me, it's like you kind of wasted a day. So that means you get to take a look at the things that you did inside of your day and say, okay, maybe that's not a good flow for me. And then you get the opportunity to be able to shift it to make sure that everything is moving forward. And monthly, no matter what, it's always the STSs and LDWs. Those are always the things that continue to catapult business. And so for me and for our entire team, it's a no matter what.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Great answer. Thank you.
I'm the new distributor under Annie's team. My question is kind of repetitive to what you said earlier. So as a new distributor who's first month in, and I'm like, okay, I got to meet my goal of 500 volumes. What are some encouraging words you can say to someone who's a new distributor who doesn't yet have those awesome body goals, but we're working on it? So some ways that we can get clients like, hey, obviously they see that we don't have these awesome body goals, but we're working on it. Like, how can we get them to like, hey, you know, work with me, try it, even though you're looking at me and you're seeing that I'm still working on myself. And also, what are some encouraging words that you would give to us new people? Like, say if we don't meet those 500 volume goals that first month and we want to do better the next few months, like what are some things that you can share with us?
Yeah, so number one, you don't have to have an awesome body to be able to be successful in Herbalife. So for me, every day you get a new result. I woke up this morning and had more energy than I did the day before. That's a new result that I get to share, right? Everything is a new. I use the mint mask and my face feels like a baby's bottom. I mean, I don't know, like every day you get the opportunity to share some type of result. And I also, and I think this happens often, I think I felt like this also when I first came in, that all of a sudden you need to be the expert on health and wellness, and now you got to know everything, and you got to have the most amazing body, and you got to know every little nugget about nutrition and all those things. Unless you were somebody that was already into that before, it's kind of unrealistic that now all of a sudden, because you have a 10Y number, that now you're this knowledgeable nutritionist health coach, right? Because that's actually not what we do. So for me, the best way to start to get people started is, hey, I'm going for a new result over the next 90 days. Join me. So a lot of my language often isn't even like, let me be your coach or any of those things, because I wasn't comfortable and confident enough in myself. But I did want a lot of accountability partners. I actually wanted 20 clients, not to be clients, but I actually wanted 20 people, because I knew if I had 20 people, I was going to have to stay on my program too, right? So maybe shifting your language, instead of like, let me be your coach, maybe it's like, I'm about to get in the best shape I've ever been in my entire life. How many people want to join me? So then that way the pressure is off of you to have these awesome body goals. You actually get to have people do it with you. And in terms of like the 500 and the DAP, for me, volume point, it's very hard for you to wake up in the morning and go get 500 volume points. I don't know what a volume point is. I know how to impact a life. I don't know how to get 500 volume points. So for me, whatever your goal is, whether it be 500, 5K, 2,500, I always take it and break it down into people. So for instance, I don't know if you guys have specific programs or things that you put people on, but let's just say for number's sake, your average program is 100 volume points, right? So if your goal is 500 volume points, you don't need to go out and get 500 volume points. Just go help 5 people. So I can help 5. I can create a goal to help 5 people. It's a lot of pressure to create points, if that makes sense. So that's even something personally for me that I do inside my own personal volume. I set what the personal volume goal is. I break it down into people, and I don't think about the volume goal anymore. All I'm thinking about is how many people that I need to get. So hopefully that helps.
Thank you for explaining that. That did help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, awesome. Another tip I'm sure us veterans can jot down. Thank you for that, Morgan. We are approaching 10 p.m. Central here. So if you guys have any other questions for Morgan, I'm sure she will not mind answering them privately or having you guys DM. Is that okay, Morgan? Awesome. Well, we want to go ahead and close by saying thank you, for taking the time out of your day to fit us in your day. Because I was watching your Instagram story today. I'm like, man, it's Morgan's fit us in her schedule. You was everywhere. So thank you from the bottom of our heart. We're gonna open up the line just to say goodnight. And again, I'm sure if you guys aren't friends with Morgan, you guys can shoot her a message and say your thank yous. We appreciate you, and we'll see you
next month.
Yeah, we'll see you next month, Morgan.
Thank you guys so much. This was amazing. You guys are awesome.
Bye.
Extravaganza.
Yeah. Good night.
God bless. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.